you find this room, like, after a bit of drifting, it gets a little ominous. The lighting in here isn't so great. And you find a room that's, like, darkened. And there's, like, a spiral staircase that leads upward. And then at the bottom of the floor is just kind of, like, covered in the raspberry stuff. But the raspberry stuff is flowing downwards from the top of the spiral staircase. And that's all you can really see for now. You do notice that the boat kind of, like, bumps into something and stops. Meaning that this area is a bit shallower than the area that you were just in.
Well,
I'll get out of the boat and start walking up the staircase.
Alrighty.
I guess.
yes.
As you walk towards the staircase, you fall into something. Like, your foot just kind of, like, steps where you think floor would be, and it just keeps going, and you immediately fall in. I want you to roll...
Oh no.
Just athletics.
Oh no, that's a -2.
Uh-oh.
I got a 3, a 2, and a 2.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's right.
So she walks forward pretty confident. She falls into something. A tube comes down from the ceiling and sinks another one. Just splashes her into the...
Happy birthday to you.
I'm gonna ask, because I lost my cleaning supplies, right, when I died.
Yeah, your mop is gone.
I'm gonna ask Lars to borrow his cleaning supplies.
What? No.
Can I borrow your mop?
No.
Boris, can I borrow your mop?
I broke my mop on the robot.
I was
Well, I got no
entrusted
ideas
this.
then. I got no ideas then.
What do you need it for?
I wanted a pole vault with the mop across.
Do we not have grapple gun?
Who had? Did anyone pick it up off the table?
Seems like prime time for a grapple gun instead of walking the hole.
I have that. So.
Well, now you know you should. Now you know you should use it instead of walking to your untimely stopping of existence.
Just gave me a second birthday. Third,
Yeah.
technically.
Third birthday.
I'm 3 years old today.
You're 3 hours old at this point.
Yeah,
I'm 3 clones old.
I'm 3. I'm 3.
your average
For what?
lifespan
Every
is
year.
now minutes.
Feeling good.
Alrighty.
So wait, what is the scene? There's a spiral staircase, you said?
Yeah, you're basically in this kind of circular room, and there's a spiral staircase leading up, and there's red goop kind of pouring down the spiral staircase. And then it kind of, based on your view, it looks like the floor is flat, and it's about, like, maybe ankle deep. But where you stepped, apparently it goes down more. So it's a spiral staircase that assumedly goes up and down.
Oh!
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh!
Logic. Got it. For sure.
Well,
It's like those elevators. They just go everywhere around this place.
Everywhere.
They just go fucking everywhere.
How do we want to do this?
The grapple gun. The grapple gun.
Yeah, but what? But and
Then
then
we
what?
climb the grapple gun.
You want to use the grapple gun that has a straight line on a spiral staircase?
Well, if he shoot it up,
And we climb.
I'm not climbing anything.
that's why we
You
hold
can-
on to Boris and Boris climbs. Boris is very
Great.
good at a lot of things.
Up on my
Fantastic.
back.
Yeah.
Princess
Oh,
Bride
my
moment.
I
Yes.
guess I'll
I-
try to aim the gun up.
Are you
Boris-
kind of like
Boris-
looking up the spiral staircase to see, like, kind of where the hole is now based on previous experience?
Based on my death? Yes.
So are you kind of looking up the spiral staircase to kind of see what's up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you see is, it only goes up one floor, but what you see on the top floor is it looks like just a bunch of broken vats that say RDT on it, which is red dessert topping. And they're just constantly, they're broken and they're, like, leaning over the thing. It completely blocks the way up, but they're just always generating like constant red thing, and it's dripping downwards.
Way too much goo.
Yeah, and as your eyes followed the thing downwards, you notice something. Something is behind the spiral staircase now that you're close to it, and it kind of like it looks like a shadow at first, but then there's this big red glowing orb that it just pings on, and then you see like these giant like tentacles kind of come out of it, and it's like these weird metal tentacles, and it kind of swims like really quickly to the middle of the room, and it just kind of like makes a weird horrible roaring mechanical sound. The thing is covered in this raspberry stuff, but it's like also like very eroded away what you can see of it, and the flashback of what that old man said was, "This happens all the time." As this like horrible monster, like mechanical sort of monster robot thing sits in the middle of the room and like charges at you guys.
Oh!
I would like to leap out of the way.
Alrighty. Yeah, so we're not technically doing battle. This is technically where a battle would be, but I feel like it's just too complex for a first session of this, and like, so what we're gonna do is basically everybody tell me what you want to do. So you said you wanted to jump out of the way, and I'll tell you what to roll for that in a sec. What does everybody else want to do? I'm kind of rolling this like Tales from the Loop for a second. We're doing a planning stage, and then all of the plans happen at the exact same time.
I think my character's too tired at the moment, so he's just like lazily being on the boat still.
Oh, yikes.
Do we have
Boris will open his arms and like get down in wrestling stance.
Yes. Yes, Boris.
I'm gonna take out the grappling gun. I'm gonna just aim it at the ceiling to try and go up and swing away
Oh dang.
from where this thing is coming towards
Okay,
me.
Batman.
I'm
Hell yeah,
reckless,
Batman.
so like,
Hell yeah.
this'll work. This is fine. It'll work.
Awesome.
I'm gonna hide behind Boris.
That's probably a safe bet, to be honest. Alrighty, so here's what we'll do. Let's have Emma, you go first. What does your grappling gun say? Mechanics +2. Cool.
What's that
Okay.
mean?
How about you roll mechanic operate, but give yourself +2 dice because you're using the grappling hook.
Okay.
Cool. So you do it.
Yep.
You manage to pull it off. So the thing like shoots a tentacle towards you, and you manage to grapple into the ceiling and jump over it just before it goes after you, and it immediately punches where you were straight into Boris. So Boris, I want you to roll violence plus melee. Nice. So you grab it, like, and it kind of pushes you back a little bit. It's kind of like anime. It's like, and you're like grappled onto this thing, and stopping it from hurting, what is everybody's name? Liz. As you kind of like barricade it with your body, and the thing kind of makes this horrible mechanical whirring sound as you hear like the servos that kind of control that are like jammed because they're trying to hurt you, but you're blocking it and stuff. As you guys are all kind of sort of fighting it, you see Roz sitting on the boat, and she pops back in, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And she pulls out the megaphone. She's like, "You're all doing an excellent job.
Oh my god.
Keep up the good work, everybody." That wakes Jason up because she's on the boat with him. So that wakes you up.
What?
And then,
Oh.
Lars, you said you were jumping out of the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me chutzpah and athletics.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So what happens is you go to jump out of the way, and the thing's tentacle, an extra one, you see like the eye like move for a second to see you, and an extra tentacle kind of comes up out of the goo unexpectedly, hits you really hard, and you go flying against the wall. And what happens is something very interesting. First of all, mark yourself as hurt because ow. But second of all, it hits this the vibration of you hitting the wall knocks a few cords from the vats up above down, and they shock the pools of the of the raspberry filling, which shocks all of you, but not in a way that hurts you, but it does seemingly awaken something inside of you, which is super interesting. Like, you feel suddenly different. So now, I'm going to send each and every one of you something secret. You feel something kind of awaken inside of you, but then also you remember an echoing in your head of friend computer at the beginning when you left the room, saying, if you see any mutants, terrorists, or traitors, please report them to friend computer.
I'm gonna panic and be like, computer, there's a thing.
What? Friend computer goes, sorry, what?
It's a big octopusy thingy.
Ah, yes. That is the SKW-1DDO, tasked with protecting the plug that guards the drainage pipe of subsector K15.
But it's broken.
Suggesting that something in Alpha Complex is broken is a treasonous offense. Please give yourself 1 treason star.
I think that's the plug we gotta. I think we need to,
We need to hit switch, I believe, was mission.
unplug, plug, and plug and plug.
Yes. Fancy that.
That's it.
Alrighty, so this thing is gonna make a big, wide swipe at all of you again. So I want everybody to kind of roll, just roll, roll chutzpah and athletics to see if you jump out of the way.
I sure did get a 1 and a 2.
Oh dang!
Oh,
On a negative
no.
2? That's fun.
Uh-huh.
We'll go with Emma first. So, because you did real bad. so the
I
thing
sure
like
did.
swipes. It hits a couple people. Like it hits Jason. So Jason, mark yourself as hurt because it hits you along the way. But it grabs Daisy's leg. Like it grabs you and it lifts you up into the air a little bit like the Hulk lifting up Loki. Slams you into the so you like splash. But then it drags you down underneath where your other body was. But because you were already down there once, and you already drowned once, so this is familiar. There's 2 things you notice. 1, you see the plug through the raspberry haze. You can actually see the plug that's underneath this giant robot. 2, you can see 2 bodies. One of them is strikingly familiar because it's you. The other one is a different person that you've never seen before. Their body's down there too. And then the raspberry overcomes you. And a vat pops down from the ceiling and drops
my
You're just really. I just gotta say, birthday!
What do you got, 4 now?
Yeah.
4!
But yeah, so you've seen the plug below this monster and also a weird mystery. Everybody else manages to kind of jump out of the way. You see Ross with the megaphone as you get rebirth again. You're doing great. Everybody's doing real great.
I'm gonna flip her off.
Hey, friend computer, I'm seeing some disobedience. Please give yourself 1 treason star for disobeying a red clearance level.
Oh, fuck you too, computer.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Thank you for giving me a break.
For what?
I will, while I'm trying to get all of this gunk off of me, I saw the plug and body. There's another body that's not mine. Well, there's 3 down there now. 2 of them are mine. But one of them is not.
So what would everybody like to do? We'll do another planning stage for your guys' thing.
I would love to swim over and try to see if I can make this thing stop.
All right.
Or do what I wanted to do.
Okay. So that's what you're gonna do. What does everybody else want to do?
Since the computer told me the plug is around here, I'm gonna look for the plug.
Okay, so you want to kind of like take an opportunity to look for the plug?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will continue to wrestle the beast to try to destroy.
Yes. All right.
Good.
Monster Hunter.
Is there any way to like interface with the robot?
You can try. You could probably use your cerebral core tech to do that. I'm assuming you want to work with the program ability or whatever.
Yeah.
Try that. It could be a backup for Maria.
Me, because my program is -5.
Emma, did you want to drown again?
No, I really wouldn't. I sure don't want to drown again. I'd like to avoid it because I'm at 4. So
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm gonna use. Can I use the gun again? It says I can keep using it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then I'm gonna just. Can I just hook onto the ceiling and then like go up? Is there a way for me to play?
Absolutely.
I would like to do that.
Alrighty.
And just watch from the ceiling.
So here's the order we'll do it in. Ty, how about you roll me violence plus melee?
I got 2 6s.
2 6s. All right. So you manage to take this thing's claw, and it's like kind of starting to get the better of you as you're fighting against it. But then you like throw it down into the puddle like below you and stomp on it, which kind of like gets it caught in the flooring below it. And the thing like starts to scream, but it's severely distracted as its eye like almost looks like it's panicking as it's like looking at what you've done to it, which gives it an opening. So James, I want you to roll mechanics plus program because you wanted to try and kind of like hack it a little bit, right?
Yeah. 2 success actually.
2 successes? Alright, so you successfully like managed to jack into this thing's brain and you can see its service records are not up to date. And that the thing, but like this allows you to kind of scramble it for a moment. As you're scrambling it, there's a pop-up that appears in front of your field of view that says, tampering with equipment from Alpha Complex is a treasonable offense. Please give yourself 1 treason star for this offense. And like just a bunch of pop-ups just keep popping up a friend computer, like getting in your way a little bit. Like, would you like help with this machinery and stuff like that?
It looks like you're trying to override Octopus.
Yeah. Please do not tamper with equipment. And then as it's like delayed, but you're also kind of getting a little bit of feedback from friend computer just being super helpful. Maria, you managed to jump on the thing's back and break open a panel, and you see like you see all these like buttons and diodes and stuff like that. You go to punch in one of them, and you manage to punch a couple of them. Before you can see if anything happened, a pop-up appears in your field of view that says, tampering with equipment from Alpha Complex is a treasonable offense. Please give yourself 1 treason star.
I'm gonna yell up to the computer. If I may, we're actually assisting you in improving this beautiful mechanical beast.
If you're suggesting that a friend computer cannot improve things in its own capacity, please give yourself 1 treason star for suggesting I am imperfect at my job.
No,
Kind
you're
of
perfect.
How many are you at now? Who's at what with treason stars? I'm just handing them out like
I'm at
candy.
2. I'm at 2.
1.
Yeah, alright. So,
We keep dying and resetting.
what you managed to do though, even though you're like, your field...
I never rolled, by the way.
Oh, you didn't? Shit. Okay, roll now. Yeah, sorry about that.
I assume,
Well, let's see if it... Yeah, you punched some stuff, but let's see if it did anything, yeah.
oh wow! Okay, so I got 2 successes and I got a 6 on my computer die.
Oh, fun! So basically what happens is you do manage to... Everybody on the outside of this manages to see the like thing kind of throw its hands up as it's being operated on, and the eye just kind of darts around maniacally and everything like that.
I just pat it and I say, it's okay, it's fine, this is gonna be fine. Junk.
And what ends up happening is you see it like freeze up as Liv is on this thing's back. The eyeball turns off slowly, and there's like a moment of silence. And then she just goes, I did! And then the machine just like freaks out, jumps backwards, completely squishes her against the wall. And it's now not blocking the where the plug is. A vat comes down from the ceiling and spits out another lamp.
I get spit out in the same position that I was in.
Yes!
I did it!
Happy birthday!
The crackling has been
Happy day to
defeated.
me!
That's amazing. But yeah, so there's this like dead machine kind of laying away, but now there's just like a raspberry pit in the middle of the room. And your job is not complete. And you just see Roz on the boat just go, "Good job, infrareds, you did it. Proud of you."
I'm proud of you, and I'll point at her.
Friend computer, please report this suck up. Sucking up to a superior officer is a treasonous offense. Please give yourself one treason star.
I just got here.
I just got here.
I'm gonna look at Liz and say, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm proud of all of you.
I'm good.
Not as
Computer,
proud
I'd
as
like to
that,
report that we're all doing a fantastic job and being very nice to each other, and it's all because of your wonderful guidance.
All right, I will
Wow.
report that. She reports that. You see an XP boost appear above her head, and she just goes, "Yes." None of you get
I'm
it
gonna
now.
try to unplug and replug.
All right, so you're gonna jump down into the raspberry. Oh yeah, that's what you were trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
So you managed to jump. Well, let's say we're like out of combat now anyway. I want you to roll. We've already had enough people drown down here. Well, let's find out. Roll athletics. What's one
There
more?
can always be more.
One success, one fail.
Okay, that. So here's. All right. So here's what you managed to do. Two things. You register something as you are down there. So you're swimming in this molassesy kind of raspberry thing. You see the plug. You see 3 dead bodies. But the one that you didn't see, like the new one that wasn't like one of you guys, you see the name floating above its head as you get closer to the drain, and it says her name is Daphne G. 3 asterisks 6. And then so like where the sector name would be, it's all garbled. It like you can't read it because it's just like constantly like there's a glitch or something with where she used to live. And
I'm
then
sorry,
around
wait, it's Daphne. What did you say?
Daphne G 6.
Okay, got it.
Around her neck on a cord is a key to a storage locker. And the details of the location of the locker are stamped in metal, and it says it's in Sector THA. And then, so you manage to kind of grab that and put it in your pocket, and then you see the plug and you open it, and the raspberry starts to drain into the thing, including you. And, and there's like kind of like these horrible, like, in your sink, when you have a disposal. Yeah. So a vat pops down from the ceiling. It spits another one of you out. Luckily, you still have the key on you, and you're holding it up as you slide on the now cleaner floor as the raspberry is being sucked dry down this pipe. And you see that Sector Hoy, Sector Hoy is starting to drain of its raspberry filling. Everybody's really happy. Well, they're pleasantly happy. Like, nobody's cheering or anything. One of them even makes a remark, is just like, "Oh, this will be good for a month." And then they all, like, kind of just, like, go about their days as if this has been a normal recurring thing that's happened in their sector. But yeah, you're holding up the key card that you found as you get...
Hey, who's the Daphne? I asked.
Sorry, what?
Roz.
What? And she takes a look at the key card and she just goes, you see her ask herself something, and then she just looks confused and she hands it back. It's like, it must be some sort of glitch or deep problem with, like a bug with that, but there is no Sector THA. Let's get the hell out of here, though. I'm over this. And she just starts to walk back to, Alrighty. with that, you all you have completed your job. Once the raspberry filling is drained, you plug it back up again. That was your job.
Excellent.
Like as you're walking away, wiping your hands with this, you already see the raspberry filling starting to like. It's slow, but it's gonna happen eventually again. And you find yourself. So you find yourself in a debriefing station for troubleshooters, which are like the people that the computer tells to go do stuff. And sitting there in this room, it's kind of like a small room with like a shitty table, and like the walls are kind of falling apart. A lot like Alpha Complex in general. And sitting at the end of the table is a yellow clearance officer named Vernon YHYT2. And sitting next to her, sitting next to Vernon is Roz, who was with you the whole time. And they all sit down at a table, and this is common. Like, at the end of a job well done, usually you have to go to a debriefing section with a yellow clearance guy, and they'll quiz you about it and everything to see how well you did. And he just goes, "Good job, Infrareds, you're all new citizens, and yet you managed to take on a pretty decent task there by temporarily fixing Sector Hoy. That was good on you. We'll get a new batch of Infrareds in there later, but let's see how well you did." We got a couple questions to ask to figure out what exactly happened. Vernon is kind of looking over the notes that Roz gave him, and he just goes, "So I see there was a few replications of equipment. Can anybody explain that to me?"
Well, I died a lot.
And why? Why did you die?
Because I was drowning in all of the liquid that we had to traverse through.
Yeah, okay. Whose fault was that? And he's writing stuff down.
Well, if you really want to think clearly about it, it would technically be whoever doesn't maintain the things that keep the raspberry from flooding the sector. Okay. Roz, do you have anything to say about that? And Roz just goes, "Probably shouldn't have been jumping into pools of raspberry, is what I think." And then Vernon just goes, Okay. Roz, why don't you give yourself 10 XP points? Roz That's bullshit!
And I see there's some equipment here that is broken. A mop, a scrub bot. Would you like to explain how this happened?
I think the ceiling fell on top of that thing.
Yes.
And
No,
then
the
he
robot was...
strange murders intent.
Yes, the robot was homicidal for sure. He had murder in his eyes, bloodlust in his heart.
So you're suggesting a piece of equipment from Alpha Complex could suddenly become homicidal?
Sentient, yes. Sentient and angry.
And whose fault do you think that is?
That, I think, was the ceiling's fault. So it was neither the computer's fault, nor was it our fault.
Okay. And Roz just goes, yeah, I mean, the ceiling broke it, but it was the Infrared's job to fix it, and they didn't do that, so... You just see Vernon go, yes, okay, give yourself treason stars, and, and he just kind of writes that down, and you see treason stars pop up over here. Okay.
Everyone?
I died draining the raspberry.
I like that initiative. Give yourself 30 XP points. Good.
Oh, thank you.
Even a dirty trader like you can still do some good for Alpha Complex, it seems.
Did everyone get a treason star there?
Yeah. Except Roz. Roz did not.
Oh wait, I got one too for dying a hero.
Would any of you
Yes.
like to, speaking of heroes, would any of you, other people like to commend anyone for being particularly heroic or
I'd like to commend you. I know this is a thankless job,
Oh,
but you're doing great.
thank you. Give yourself 30 XP points. That's you know, I never get that. Nobody ever does that for me. See, now you're getting it. And We heard an old man died on your watch. He fell down an elevator shaft. Would any of you care to explain why that happened?
He did mention he was bad at steering, unfortunately.
So it was.
I don't think he had proper training from his superiors.
And
I
yeah,
look over to Roz. Sometimes that happens. And it's not their fault always. But I think this time it was.
Roz kind of looks at you and she just goes, "Yeah, well, a lot of the equipment was eroded thanks to the raspberry filling that you guys got into, so."
But
That
we
wasn't
didn't
me.
cause it initially.
Yeah, and then Vernon just turns to Roz and goes, "Roz, didn't you sign for the equipment? Doesn't that make you liable for any damages that happen to it?" Roz just kind of goes, "No." Lying is a treasonous offense, Roz. You see another treason star appear above Roz's head. She gets a little pissed off. And finally, I would like to ask any of you, is there anybody that you would like to tell us about that maybe didn't do the best job they could have, that we should know about? Yes. Oh, give yourself 5 XP points for raising your hand, by the way. That's very polite.
Well, hold on to that. I'm just gonna point at Roz.
Oh. And what would you like to say about Roz? Roz just kind of like...
I think that she could have given us some better direction and training in order for us to have done our job more efficiently, and we might not have lost so many people in the process.
Or as much equipment.
Do you have a proof of these allegations? And just because this is not something maybe you knew that you could do, your Cortex, again, as a reminder, are always recording everything.
That's where I was just gonna go, because I do have, in fact, 2 brains. So I may not know what's going on, but when I do, I'll just like double tap it and like project it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
say,
it just
let me give
projects
you an
everything.
itemized list of 52 accounts of neglect, and incompetence, and just being very fucking rude.
Oh. Well, Roz, in light of this evidence, he just pulls out a gun and shoots her. But before the trigger goes off, you see that she gets 5 treason stars and then immediately gets shot. And she's fine. She was only on her 3rd. Thank you for awarding. You have outed a traitor in our midst, and we highly appreciate that here at Alpha Complex. I would like to give all of you 150 XP points, not only for the mission, well, 150 XP points for the mission because that's what it was, but then I'd like to give you an additional 150 XP points for outing a traitor in our midst. A 5-star traitor too. Wow. Can't believe it. They're just everywhere, just when you least expect it.
I can't believe it either. She was just doing her job
No, she wasn't.
badly. She was doing it bad.
She wasn't doing her job if she was doing it badly.
That's true.
I just like to point out how efficient you are, sir.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to give you another 20 XP points.
I'm gonna, like, lean
I like
over.
this guy.
I'm gonna lean over to Lars and be like, bootlicker.
With that, is there anybody, any infrareds here that have 500 XP points?
Duh.
Oh, good. It's like I actually planned this or something. I would like to congratulate all of you infrareds on making it to red level clearance. You are all now red level, which gives you permission to go to red level clearance areas. You have you can now become troubleshooters officially, as opposed to just working for troubleshooters, and you have the ability to boss around. You have the ability to command and direct infrared clearance level people. I'd like to shake your hands. Shake your hands. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And with that was your security clearance is not high enough to know the title of this adventure by Paranoia Red Clearance Edition. That was that's the starting scenario in the first mission book that comes with the starter kit. It's a 3-campaign thing if you want. It doesn't have to be. They're all very separate. There's little things that connect them, but But yeah, so that's Paranoia. That's you guys' first experience with Paranoia and my first experience running it. I'm Dave. I was friend computer today. We'll do that whole what did you like thing and who are you and what do you like? And I guess I'll just start at Ty because he's directly above me in the cameras.
I am Ty. You can find me at Bone Brawler on Twitter and at Mythos Mystery Society. My favorite moment of tonight was when Emma's character kept drowning. There was just a body of her character down the foot.
I'm pretty sure that room has 5 bodies in it now.
Yeah.
No, it did.
Yeah.
It had 5 bodies. They're all down the drain now.
Yeah, true. Either that or a scrub bot would have eaten them. We'll go to Emma.
Hello, I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. You can also find me at Dice Prairie because I play there too. Let's see. My favorite moment, I think, I really liked the pirates a lot. That was fun because they were just ridiculous. So that was good. That was great.
Awesome. Jason.
I'm Jason. You can find me as Tech Cuddler on most social media platforms. My favorite moment was probably all the happy birthdays.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! There was
birthday.
a lot. Were there more of them than you were expecting?
Yes.
All right. We'll go to James.
I'm James. I don't really have any media. My favorite part was right at the end there with, in light of this new evidence, Ben!
That's awesome. And then we'll go with Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. You can find me on Twitter at HappyCapster, also at Society Goblins, and also on Dice Prairie, where I also play games sometimes. My favorite moments were Rod's just being just a total fucking useless piece of garbage. Because it was great. It was like we just call her out, and the computer would be like, "Please take 2 treason stars for calling out your superior officer." Okay.
Okay. Awesome. And I'm Dave. I am friend computer, and my favorite part was being a sassy friend computer. I get to do it. It's so great. Well, one of the funny things about Paranoia is trying to figure out a loophole of why good actions could be bad, considering the computer thinking them the wrong way. It's just like, how do I just twist everything against them? Like good and bad. And there's just something really funny about that. But yeah, and with that, this is Friend Computer signing off.